Core Keeper 1.0 just recently released, and I'm going to spend 200 days in it. It is a pixel graphics sandbox survival simulator, and if you have played Terraria and Minecraft before, this is basically their baby with a mix of Factorio and Stardew. So join me as I explore the world of Core Keeper. This time with new updates like magic and summoning. Also, a lot of quality life improvements. The game doesn't really have a night and day cycle, so every 10 minutes is equivalent to 1 day in this story video. So let's begin this adventure. For the difficulty, we'll be playing on standard, as well as our character will be standard. For the class, I'll be choosing mage since it's something new for the 1.0 update. And this is how the journey began. After touching a random relic outside, I got teleported underground with nothing but some food rations and my magical staff. I then gathered anything I can get my hands on, and that would be wood for now. And I made myself some tools to help me on my journey. Honestly, it was very dark here, but thank God there were a lot of wood so we can make some torch, and now we have a light. Anyways, I continued cleaning up the area and gathering all the wood I can from this place. I also placed on a bunch of torches so we won't be that dark in this place anymore. I noticed that there are a bunch of statues at the starting point, so these are going to be the bosses that we're going to be fight in the future in this game. So after cleaning out the area, I made myself a crafting bench as well as a chest. And with the crafting bench, I can now make an armor set plus a sword. We can't always rely on magic as there is gonna be a time where we're gonna run out of mana. So it's best to make myself a sword. And look, I have some wood armor now. Cool. And since we're geared up right now, I decided to further expand our base by just, digging around the dirt blocks that were around me. I managed to find a bunch of mushrooms as well as an old boxes that contain a bunch of items. After digging around, I eventually found myself some copper ores. So those things shining on the map that we can barely see, they are actually ores. I also found a bunch of glowing blue flowers, and these things are called glow tulips. I eventually stumbled upon a place where there's like lost technology here. There was even a chest containing some food, potions, money, and an ancient gemstones. Of course, grab everything along with the chest. So we have a free chest on us. Current problem now was inventory management. I had to go home because my inventory was full, so I had to organize my stuff first. I then crafted myself some furnace so I can start processing the copper ores I've obtained so far. Not only that, I also managed to get myself some tin and iron. So while waiting for my metal to process, I decided to just clean up the base and expand it more because it's looking pretty, I'm not sure what the word is, tight, cramped, because there's just such a small space. But anyways, I'm trying to solve the problem by digging more areas. After my ores were done smelting, I crafted myself a salvage and repair station as well as a cooking pot. With a salvage and repair station, we can now repair, salvage, or reinforce stuff. The cooking pot, I inserted a glow tulip and a bomb pepper. Wasn't really sure if it's a good combination, but any food is good right now because I'm going hungry soon and I only have like 2 more cans of food rations left. So combining food in this game gives like various buff. For this one, it gave me movement speed as well as a glow. Just look at me glow in blue, which really help in the dark. Just besides my base, I noticed a nice looking area. It had like grass, trees. Why is my area not this nice to look at? But anyways, I just grab all the chests and I plan to make this area a place for, future NPCs to rest. Finally, our first ever monster encounter. They were easily dealt with my magical staff. Just a 2 hits on the staff and they're dead. Sometimes I encounter exploding rocks like this. I kind of like them because they help me dig the area. Very helpful. And something amazing happened as I killed this mushroom. I got myself a new type of armor called the Witch Doctor's Vest. And this says that it has like +1 max minion count. I totally forgot that the new update also brought along a summoning weapon so we can summon minions to help us fight. Also, after just digging a random X marks the spot on the ground, I got myself a rusty dagger. It's pretty high damage, so I think it's gonna be very useful. Look at how fast this thing stabs. Moving on, I found like something like an abandoned train station, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, there was a chest here and a free furnace plus something that makes like minecart rails and minecart. It's a station. Also, a chest containing a bunch of goodies. Upon returning home and smelting my copper, I then made myself the copper workbench, an upgrade to our wood workbench. And so I replaced our old workbench with a new one. And look, there is now a bag upgrade on this new one. I of course crafted it. Also crafted a bunch of stuff like the anvil, the watering can, the copper pickaxe. Just an improvement to our quality of life right now. I also looted these things. I don't know where. But anyways, I can place like a glow tulip on them just to add the design to the base. So it looks like kind of pretty, I guess. And with the remaining copper bars I had, I made myself the copper helmet and a shield. The shield is going to be useful against bosses, as if I hold down the button to trigger the shield, or if I bring it up, it will reduce the total damage by 70%. So with my new pickaxe, I continued expanding my base. I'm not sure if this is a new update, but I can now place dirt blocks to cover like holes in an area. This is amazing because from what I remember before, you need to shovel up some soil in order to fill up some like empty spaces like that. And with the new area I digged up, I plan to make this area my garden. And on the top of this, maybe like a wood farm. With this, the food problem is solved, as well as it will give us some buffs that we will need on our journey. As for the wood farm, I'll just let it grow up here. And then I continued mining some spaces, so we have more areas to work on. In my adventures, I then found a giant mushroom. Like, what? What the heck is this? So it has an ability to armor itself up and we don't do damage at all. So we just have to wait until like he slams himself and he's vulnerable. And we killed it and got ourselves some stone skin potion. Upon digging the ground, I got myself something called an oracle card with the name Aura. I'm not sure what this is for, but I guess it's a rare item since it's highlighted green. I then found myself a giant mushroom. Cool. And if I eat it, I have like plus 25 max health. Cooler. Now I have a total of 155 health. Nice. I then went home, smelted the ores I recently got, and expanded my farm. Since I've got like even more seeds from my previous adventure, I just decided that expanding the farm might be a good idea, so we can have unlimited supply of food buffs. I also found myself the den of like the slimes. I got myself this mage hat as well. So there it is. The first boss will fight. For now, I guess I'll just kill the surrounding slimes. I'm not ready for this fight yet. I plan to craft like a new armor set that prevents me from slowing down if ever I touch like the slimes. I was hoping to kill even more slimes, but I guess being near the boss, it got aggressive, so I had to run away. Thankfully though, it didn't really chase me down that far. So I'm pretty happy that I survived that. For now, I continued killing more slimes to get their slime. As well as look for more copper so I can make that armor set I wanted. A raincoat and a raincoat pants. I then found a summoning item as well called Tome of the Dark. And it summons like bat minions. Pretty cool. But sadly, minions disappear after a while. I was hoping that they would stay permanently or something. Summoning them each time. Let's say I was just mining and I had to encounter like a monster. I'll need to resummon them if ever they already disappear, if their duration is gone already. It's a pain in the butt. I then found myself another part of the witch doctor set, the genes. So just one more and we can have like the set effect. We can be a summoner right now. For the boss fight though, I decided to go for the rubber coat and the rubber boots. This will surely help me in this fight as it prevents me from being slowed down by the slime. So crafted myself a lantern which gives me like plus 3 glow, which would surely help me in the dark places in the mines. And because I have a glass maker machine now, I made myself an egg incubator. I have like 2 pet eggs that I haven't incubated yet because I didn't have glass earlier. Now that I have glass, it's time to incubate them. We just need to wait for, I don't know, a few minutes maybe before they get incubated. I'm not sure if this existed before, but there are items called mannequins and you can dress them up with your like previous armors. So I'm very happy to like discover this. Now I can dress them up as my old armor so I can like, you know, look back on our previous adventures upon like upgrading our gears. Anyway, since I'm now geared up, it was finally time to fight the boss. My strategy here would probably be just to spam my magic until like I run out of mana, then maybe stab it with my knife. So this was Glurch, the Abominous Mass. And he's a giant slime basically, and every time he stomps, he would leave like slimes behind him. And oh my god, I think my knife is the best weapon against this guy. I just use my shield to like shield up reduce like 70% of its damage and just stab it when like it's near. A very good strategy, I'd say. And with that, we have defeated Glurch, our first boss kill. Let's go. And for some reason, there was a merchant along his death. We now have a new magical staff called the Sticky Stick. Cool. So this is how the Sticky Stick staff works. You basically throw like a slime and whenever it hits something, it bounces off of it. Pretty cool weapon. Chent, he basically sells up some random stuff, and in order for him to live in our base, we need to make him a house. With the Glurch eye that I received from the boss kill, I can now activate the statue. And by inserting it, I now have 3 new recipes. 1 for a slime sword and 2 for a scanner. For the Malugas the Corrupted and Gorm the Devourer. And so I made a scanner for Gorm, and there he is. Just right there, pretty far. And he is constantly moving in a circle. Now that my egg is ready to hatch, I hatched it and got myself an Owlux. And what it does is it buffs the owner. It has a pretty decent buff. I'm going for a movement speed buff on this guy. So I'll try to look for a variant egg that I can get to like have all movement speed. For the other pet, it was a pet that would attack. I wasn't really interested in an additional summon that would help me fight monsters. I'm more interested in a pet that would like buff me. So I would not be using this. Alright, so I decided to decorate my base for now. So I made some paintable floorings. And I basically covered my whole base with it. I then tried out fishing, and I'm very happy that they removed the fishing game. I'm not sure. Because I remember last time I played this, there was a mini game, but now you just instantly reel in the fish. So I did this until like the bubbly thingy disappears. What the bubbly thingy does actually is it means that there's a lot of fish there and you can easily, you know, catch a fish faster than you normally would if it's not the bubble thingy. I then did a lot of chest management now that I have a bigger chest, so I would have a hard time later on when I have more items. Afterwards, remember that place I said I'll make it an NPC house? I decorated it and now it's his house. And then continued my adventures and found an area with animals. Look at that cow right there. There's also a goat here, but right now I don't really plan on getting some animals. And look, I finally have the last piece of the Witch Doctor set. Sadly, I'm not going for Summoner right now. So I just put it on display. I'm gonna make myself a good area for all my armors, I guess. Not right now though. I found myself a pretty rare necklace because it's colored pink. And it has like HP regeneration. Cool. I eventually reached the area called the Clay Caves. And in this place, this is where we're gonna get some tin ores. An ore better than copper. Monsters here, they were some big worms that I need to be careful because look at this thing, so tanky. There were a lot of them. It was a nest full of these insects. And they were so annoying because they break my torches every time they're like near one. These things that are glowing are exploding insects. And when they explode, they drop like acids all over. I just farmed the area where Gorn is like rotating in the map because in this area there are a lot of loots dropped by monsters it crushed. This place was swarming with tin ores. Also, there were like monsters, like I don't know how to describe them. Maybe cavemans. They're not really that hard to defeat, but yeah, they're kind of threatening though because this is a new area after all. I then reached the Forgotten Ruins. And in this place, we have a new food type called, I think, the carrot. It's a rock carrot. I left the area for now as I wasn't really interested in getting iron at the moment. I think it's more important if I get that tin so I can upgrade my current items. And here I am raiding I guess the camp of the cavelings. There are a lot of them, but they're only like 2 to 3 hits on my slime staff. I noticed late, but I actually got an item called a tin sludge hammer. I thought it was a melee weapon. And upon slapping the wall, oh my god, this thing was like the better pickaxe because it can smash like 3 blocks in one go. Just look at this thing. Look at the power it packs. It's so good. It makes like mining so much easier and gathering items. I got lucky again as one of the cavelings that I defeated dropped me a tin axe. Like, oh my god, nice. Another tin weapon. And it has like a charge attack that deals like wide range slash. That's a mob attack. And just look at the amount of tin I got from that expedition. I'm actually pretty dumb here because I can just drag and drop like this tin in order to put it all. But I individually click it. Now I learned. I spent a lot of my time just gardening at the base and leveling up a bit of my fishing skills. I'm just doing this because I was waiting for all my metals to be finished smelting so I can craft myself a new armor set. Once it was done smelting, I then crafted myself a bunch of new gears. I decided to craft myself an entire bronze armor set because it was way better than the current armor set I was using. I then added even more mannequins because there's just so many armor types that I need to make like so many of them. And finally, with a lot of like tin, copper, I can now make an automated wood farm. With this, these things will just spin and break the wood whenever it grows. I then work on the place I wanted to be like my armory or something. And then I found this really interesting thing. I never saw this before. I was so curious to approach it and see what it was. And upon approaching it, it seems it was a waypoint. Wow, there are waypoints in this game. That's amazing. And since it was very close to the boss, I'm assuming that each boss area would have like a waypoint. And here it was, my armory. Look at how cool this area looks. I like it. I like the bright light from my lamps. Really appreciate the lamps, I swear. The bright light is so nice. And since I was done with my adventures with collecting tin, it was now time to collect some iron ores. And in the Forgotten Ruins, the monsters here were, I'm not sure how to call them. They're also like cavelings, but different in a way. It was kind of hard to break these rocks with my tin hammer. But yeah, 4 hits and they're broken. So I guess it's fine. And with enough material upon returning home, I made myself the scanner for Malugas. I haven't even defeated the other boss yet, but I just wanted to see where it is. Oh, so that's where he is. Currently, I feel like I was ready to take on Gorn. I have like the entire tin armor set already. I mean bronze. So what's left now was just to progress. Meaning we need to defeat Gorn and upgrade our gears afterwards. I continued mining for a bit. Just waiting for Gorn to like circulate to where I am. I didn't really want to chase him down or go towards him. I'd rather just grind, I guess, for more ores while waiting for Gorn. And look, I found a giant iron node. So I marked it on the map. I can come back here once I have enough materials to make like more of those drilling things. And just leave them there until like they get me a bunch of ores. I then readied myself as Gorn was close. I buffed myself with an enrage potion and an armor skin potion. And look, that's how I slash Gorn. My damage is pretty decent. Gorn was feeling the pain of my slashes. I also summoned my bat for like additional damage. He couldn't really deal that much damage to me. My plan is just to shield up whenever he like is approaching me or tries to damage me, so I can reduce the damage by 75%. I'm not even sure if I'm timing it right, but I'm not really taking that much damage. I'm probably timing it right. The only thing I hate is like it's so hard to hit him if he doesn't approach me like this. So I had to use my magic. But yeah, I ran out of mana very fast. We're very close to defeating him though. Just a few more slashes. Stop running. Come back. Just a bit more, Gordon. Come to me. Face me. This guy looks very scary at first, but he was actually just a fragile princess once you start slashing him in the face. He's not really that tanky as how his appearance looks. And eventually, Gordon has succumbed to his death. Let's go. For the loot, I got something called a larva armor. But the thing is, I'm not really fond of using this because of the negative movement speed. I also got the thing called the Gorm's Horn, so we can activate the statue. Then added the Gorn's Horn, and now I unlock 3 new recipes. I don't really plan on crafting the other 2, but the Recall Idol, I'll be making a lot of these. And with the irons I've collected so far, I made myself an iron workbench. Another upgrade to our workbench. Then made myself 1 smelter kiln so we can start processing our gold. And then a watering can so we can have an easier time farming on our garden. I then made a setup so I can plant carocs in my base. You need the soil where the caroc was growing in order to be able to plant it. So this is why I'm using the soil found in the Forgotten Ruins. With this, I am able to put the caroc seeds. What caroc does on a recipe, it adds armor. I then made another house so I can summon another NPC. This guy was one of the rewards we got for defeating Gorn. And as we leave, there he is. He sells like the summoning idol so we can fight Gorn and the slime boss again. If ever there's an item we want to farm, which they drop. I then went to the place with the giant slime boss. I just wanted the chest, really. There was no item I wanted to farm from this guy, just the chest. Because I only have the like 2 of those large chests, and this thing will give me like the 3rd. Those chests are really wonderful because they have so many slots inside. I then continued grinding for some irons while on my way to the second boss. And I swear to God, these mage cavelings are so strong. Just look at my HP drain. This was honestly the first time I ever used an HP potion in any fight, because these guys actually dealt damage to me. Not the 2 bosses, but normal mobs. I then found myself a golden Kairok. Wow, golden Kairok. I eventually found another waypoint, and I swear to God, this is amazing. Free teleport home to store the items I've looted so far. I then found this giant caveling right here, but I easily took care of him with my magic staff. He was never even able to like come near me at all. Let's look at this guy. He was like approaching me, but haha, dodge. Upon returning home, I was able to craft myself an iron anvil. I decided before I fight the boss, I would make the iron armor set first. I was missing like 1 more piece, then I would have the complete set. With this, I now had the complete set, and I reinforced all of them, except that I was still waiting for some of my iron bars to finish smelting. With my new and upgraded gears, it was now time to raid the dungeon where the boss was. And oh my god, these freaking shamans, man. They hurt so much. I need a way to like dodge your fireball. My only way right now was to like use my shield whenever it's coming to my face. But the burn really hurts. I got a lot of new gears upon coming here. Like this thing right here called the Boundary Ring, which gives like a magical barrier. We're not really a mage right now, so I'm not gonna be using it. I also got very lucky and got myself a battle axe. It's an iron version of our tin axe. Let's go! Then found this really cool offhand item called Rift Lens. You can now blink like... Dang, that's crazy. Look at this. Well, it bugged out because I was blinking to a wall. I need to properly aim this in order to blink better. But it's really good. Like, I can even blink while charging my axe. It's a crazy... I really like this offhand item. Probably dodging like boss attacks will be really good because, you know, blink is always nice. Like teleporting. In all games, I like teleporting. But except for that, I was dumb there. I found another set item. It's the soaring set, and it's for magic. It's pretty cool. Anyways, what I'm doing here is I basically just raid the dungeon, and every time my inventory is full, I go home and then come back again. In one of the chests here, I found an iron sledgehammer. Hopefully this thing will make our mining life way easier. And finally, I found the boss area. My first job is to clear the area and give like lightings on this place. Also found a rare weapon called the broken handle, but I won't be able to use this properly yet until I complete it. So there's a recipe sold by the merchant in order to like, you know, complete the sword, but we're not gonna be able to do that until later once we find the other parts. I fight the boss, I went home first, and with the stolen goods I got from that boss room, I placed it down on my base. I also crafted myself a new weapon, the halberd. It's basically a poking weapon. Alright, boss fight time. Malugas the Corrupted. Oh my god, my poking power is so strong. I'm playing pretty safe right now because I don't really want to die. Especially since this guy is like throwing fire and the burn effect really hurts. So I might have trouble fighting this dude. And dang, I should have brought like a watering can so I can put up the fire. Oh my god, my iron battle axe is so strong. Oh. The battle axe is amazing against this guy. Look at this. He's almost dead. Let's go. And let's go. Oh my god. There's like a second form against this guy. Oh lord. Okay, with our blink, I think we'll be fine. Alright, just I need to maintain my distance, avoid the fire. I have like 5 HP potions left. I'll be fine. Alright, just a few more hits. He should be dead. Okay, I really love the blink skill. Oh, it's amazing. Now the cooldown is only like 2 seconds. And oh, and he's dead. Let's go. And it was also a cool boss fight. And by defeating this boss, we have the stolen crystal heart. We also got a new helmet called the Shaman Skull helmet, as well as a skull ring that increases our attack speed. It decreases our HP though, but the attack speed is worth it. Continued fighting Malugas the Corrupted. I wanted to see what else I can loot from this guy. I have a lot of his summoning items, so we can fight him again and again. Since he's not really that hard as I thought, I can easily take care of him with my axe. I got myself another rare card called Entity. Cool. I'm not really sure what it is for at the moment, but yeah, we'll figure it out later on. And by inserting the crystal to the statue, I can now make something like a ritual dagger. It looks pretty nice, like very fast attack speed, a blue glow, some critical chance, and then a blue leather tome. It's an offhand item, which gives like mana regeneration plus magic damage, and lastly an ancient hologram. Also, now that we have unlocked all the statue, the core now spoke to us. Thou hast awakened us, he said. Thou must travel far out the Great Wall and lay a hand upon it to open it. The Titans can be found beyond the Great Wall. Okay. Set up some machinery to farm this giant tin or boulder here. I'll just leave this until maybe it produces a lot of tin. I'll come back for it. I marked it on the map. And I proceeded to dig up until I reached the Great Wall. Along the way though, I found like a racetrack, a very old racetrack. So I got all the primitive go-kart. These things sell for a lot at the merchant. I also found another giant ore. This time it was a copper ore. But right now, I didn't really have enough resource to make drills for this thing. So I'll forget about it for now. I continued digging up until I found the Great Wall. Sadly, I have to wait till August 27th in order to access this area. So I instead farm for copper, tin, and gold for now since I need more machineries at the base. I then continued farming Malugas. I wanted to check if he would drop any magical items. I checked out the Wikipedia and he does drop the arcane staff, but I never really had the chance to get it. Even after consuming all of my crystal skull shards, I couldn't get any magical staff. I guess I'm that unlucky. But I did get the necklace though, the skull necklace. So for now, I just continued exploring around. Found another giant ore. This time it was a gold ore. I honestly should just wait till like August 27 so we can go to the next area. But I don't know. I'm very excited to play this game, so I continued playing it. I guess you could say I'm preparing for when the gate opens. So at the very least, I have a lot of ores ready, so I can just focus on the adventures to defeat the titans. So all I did at the moment was create a path to the left, to the north, to the south, and to the right, reaching the wall. So if ever we need to progress to either up, down, left, right, we already have a path to just straight up go either direction. I then went on fishing. One of my goals be to complete the fishing set. For now, I only have the scuba fins. I then fished at the clay cave area. I was hoping to get a Neptune's necklace here. I believe it adds like fishing power. I eventually remembered that I can craft something like a hologram. What this does is it also has like a lot of stuff that I can use, like a scanner. So I made the scanner for the Hive Mother. There was actually one more boss that we can defeat. Let's go! So the Hive Mother is there. So I need to make my way towards the Hive Mother. I really do love the waypoint system. This is the best feature by far. Because, you know, I hate running towards the bosses area. But now we have a free waypoint. This thing is just so amazing. Anyways, it was now time to dive into the larva caves and defeat the Hive Mother. There are so many bugs here that I believe that it's a very nice place to level up like skills. There's a new armor set here called the Carapace armor set. You just need like 2 pieces and it increases the explosion power of your items. Anyways, I finally found the area where the Hive Mother is. But for now, I decided to clean the place first of the acid and the spawners before I engage in the fight. And after that was done, I initiated in the battle. So what the Hive Mother does is it shoots like projectiles in the air and also spawns like hive eggs. And when these hive eggs hatch, it can either be the exploding monsters or the big chunky grubs. So all I really need to do is keep attacking the Hive Mother until it dies and like, you know, hold down the acid fields it drops on the ground to prevent us from getting damage from acid. So yeah, this will eventually die. It's not really a hard fight. It's pretty simple actually. As long as I just maintain a stable ground to stand on, I emerge victorious. There we go, Hive Mother. Let's go. So the Hive Mother actually drops an armor set called the Hive Bone armor set. And it gives like thorn damage. And what thorn damage does, I believe, is like whenever a monster attacks you and you have like 10 thorn damage, I believe that 10 damage will be dealt to the monster. So that's pretty cool, aside from the attack speed it gave. So I'm gonna keep fighting this Hive Mother until I get like the complete set. These summoning idols aren't really cheap. I bought like 3 of them. So yeah, I grinded the Hive Mother for a bit until like I got everything I needed. Didn't really need 3 summoning items because I already got the entire set on the second run. I also got myself a necklace that increased like physical damage. Cool. I look like a fully plated character right now. And now that I have the armor set, it has an effect where acid doesn't do anything to me anymore. So I can just stand on acid, don't really care, and just keep hitting the Hive Mother until it dies. For the loots, there was really nothing interesting anymore. I already have the armor set I wanted. So for now, I just fish until like I got the Neptune necklace I wanted in this area. And I got it. It has like fishing power, plus 53 fishing. That's 2 out of 5. So 3 more pieces and we're done with our set. Actually, let's make it 4 because I want like 2 gold rings. After all those shenanigans, I decided to spend my day at the Forgotten Ruins area and just fish until like I get 2 gold rings. A while for me to actually get this ring, but the benefit of it is like the fish bites 13% faster, which is really good. And also I now have the set effect of 3 pieces. Oh well, the set effect is just more damage to range with fishing damage. So kind of sucks. It's not for fishing. And finally, I got the last one. Let's go. The next thing on my agenda was expanding my armory. I've been getting so many random armor pieces that the amount of mannequins I have just can't keep up, and we still have a lot of areas we need to explore. I then visited my tin farm. Just look at this. I got like a total of more than 100 tin. While it's just mining there, I'll just leave it there and just come back anytime I want to. I need to make more for the other giant ores I've found. I need to have a system where I can easily access them. I don't know what to do with it, actually. I then continued digging on to the right side of the map. That's the only area left I haven't dug out. And then made a bunch of drills. It was time to actually make a setup where I can mine those big ores. I honestly got distracted while going to the ores. I decided to like circle around the area where Glurch was lurking, and I found his summoning circle. I was hoping to see a waypoint close by, but I searched all over the place. I couldn't find one. Did I ever found this place? I'm not sure what it was, but I marked it in the map just in case I want to go back. I found another one, so I marked it in the map as well. We'll figure it out in the future. It looks one of those puzzle thingies where you need to play music, so that's where I can start, I guess. I've been busy setting up ore networks like this. You can see we have an ore node here we can farm. I then got a crown from one of the slimes, which summoned the king slime in Terraria. This thing was tougher than Glurch. Dang, and the damage was actually really high. I kind of regret not bringing my shield here, but I'll just have to do my best not to die. If I time my teleport right, I should be able to like just avoid damage. For now, yeah, I'll try to run as far as I can whenever it's on cooldown. I guess 2 seconds is very long in a fight like this. Maybe melee wasn't the right choice, but I'm dealing really good damage. The lifesteal is helpful. Getting like 3 HP each hit. This is from a food. Oh yeah, let's go. We beat it. The lifesteal is from a vampiric eel I fished at around the clay caves. Anyways, I got myself a king slime crown. Cool. The royal gel in Terraria. And then some egg. I feel like this is a king slime egg. Oh, look at my shiny crown. I kind of don't like the armor with this crown though, but whatever. I look cool with the crown. I then continued building more and more of those drill farms. I'm surely gonna need all these ores one day. Can't wait till like the gates open so we can fight the titans. I'm ready. The only thing I don't really have is a bronze rock, a giant bronze rock. I couldn't find one. I mean, I found one, but it's pretty far from everything else. I mean, copper. Anyways, copper isn't really hard to grind up, so we're fine. It was finally time to touch the wall. Upon touching the wall, it went down, and now I can access the new area. And we have entered Azeos Wilderness. And it was full of grass. Cool. I'm touching grass. Also, if you notice, there's a dodo bird right there. I just touched it and it became my pet or something because I can see its name now. I should bring it home when I have the time. This area was polluted with a lot of poison slimes, but with our hoe, we can easily avoid being poisoned by, you know, hoeing all the slimy stuff on the ground. There was also a new type of crop called the bloat oat. It's the yellow wheat looking thing that you can see right here. So what it does is it has a lot of food portion, plus I believe it gives like a lot of health regeneration. And for the ores here, it was some scarlet ores, red looking ores. And so I explored the area and I got myself a new type of armor called the Corrupt Warden set. So this thing is for summoners, and I'm not really a summoner right now. I'm a melee person, so I don't really need this. I then found this area where it was locked, but I'm pretty sure that was a glow tulip in the wall right there. I don't really have one right now, but I'll mark this on the map and come back once I have a glow tulip with me. It should open up the area. And with a glow tulip on hand, the wall lighted up and opened the gates. I got myself a chip blade out of this and some gold crystal necklace, as well as a recall idol. So this was a pretty fruitful area. I continued my exploration, and this time my Hanzuka actually proved really useful compared to my hammer. Anyways, my goal was to collect about, I think, 10 or maybe 20 ancient feathers so I can make the scanner to locate the titan of this place. Also, of course, collect a lot of the scarlet ores. Another thing was to locate like one of those giant ore, but the scarlet version of it, so we can set up a farm. I then found an area that was filled with mold, and what it does is whenever I step on this field, I would get slowed down from the mold. It's honestly pretty dangerous to venture inside without like fishing first, because there's like a certain fish that prevents you from being slowed down by the mold. But I'm feeling pretty brave right now. What I want to do here is gather some new types of crop as well, and it's called a puff fungi. What it does is if you cook it with something, it gives something that reduces the damage of bosses to you. That's certainly useful, especially since we're melee. After adventuring in the wilderness for a while, I've collected about 200 plus scarlet ores. So I made a bunch of smelter to get smelting. I also expanded my farm by adding some bloat oats. And yeah, I just needed like 10 ancient feathers. I just need 2 more and we can make the scanner for Azeos. With the scarlet ores that finished smelting, I made myself the upgrade station. Just as the name implies, it upgrades your previous gears in order to match like higher level gears. So I upgraded my sledgehammer so we have an easier time mining at the wilderness. Also, because we have scarlet bars now, I was able to make sprinklers. So I plan to move my farm here. This should make my life way easier, because we don't need to water our crops anymore. We can just have the sprinkler do it for us. I also added some lighting so it would look pretty. I could have just bought or make the item that like breaks hole in the sky to light up the area, but I totally did not come into mind. Anyways, right now I'm on a journey to look for goats because I didn't know that I would need a lot of wool in order to craft the next tier of armor, the scarlet armor, as well as bags. So, oh my god, wolves are actually useful. Could have captured animals when I first started the game, so I would have a lot by now, but well, I totally ignored them. Now I'm paying the price by capturing them now and waiting for them to produce the products I'm looking for. So I made a little area for my animals. I made sure to make it look like it's full of life, so grass it is. For food, it wasn't really hard. With extra crops, I can feed my goat and cow, but for the caterpillar, I need to catch some bugs, which I am lazy, so I don't really need its shell, so we're fine right now. So while waiting for my scarlet ores to turn into scarlet bars, I decided to fish. And there were a lot of new fishes here, which would be very useful later on for cooking. From all the fishing, I got myself a chest plus a key, and I got a scarlet sledgehammer. Oh my god. The only difference with both of these is 1 mining damage, but this is an unupgraded sledgehammer. So once we upgrade it, this will be way stronger than the iron sledgehammer we have. So I'm pretty happy that we got this, but I wasted a lot of materials to upgrade my iron sledgehammer. I continued my adventure and I totally did not expect to be ganked after being stunned by this tentacle right here, and I succumbed to my first death. Worry not, I came back, had my revenge, and looted all the items I have dropped, but there was a lot, so I need to delete like random stuff I have on my inventory. Still, everything was safe and I got my loots back. Anyways, after collecting all the necessary materials, I made the scanner for Azeos, the Sky Titan. And there he was. He was actually pretty near, just straight ahead. Oh my god. I continued looking for goats because I really needed the wool so I can make a new armor set. Before I would fight Azeos, I would like to have like a full set of new gears. Sadly, the production of wool was really slow, so I decided to upgrade my hive bone armor set instead. Afterwards, I went on my way towards where Azeos was. And when I arrived, I saw his silhouette flying in the sky. That means I should be careful. But actually, he wouldn't just drop down. We need to craft his summoning item first before he actually appears and fight us. For now though, since it's a known fact that every boss has a waypoint nearby, I decided to look for the waypoint where Azeos was. And what I discovered though was amazing. Like, holy, look at this thing. There were 3 large scarlet ores around the area. Like, oh my god, this is a treasure trove. So I'm gonna be setting up my drills a bit later on once I locate the waypoint. And just around those 3, I located one more close by. It's a singular one, but it was very close to the 3 boulders. So yes, this is gonna be our scarlet farm once we get that waypoint. Crazy part is the waypoint was actually very close to the boulders. So I'm so happy to find this out. I can easily set up the scarlet ore farm. Oh my god, this is amazing. And so I set up the farm. Just look at all my drills. I could not really afford a lot of the red drills, but the gray drills was fine. Everything was operational and it will eventually make us a lot of scarlet ores. Can't wait to harvest this after an hour or so and like swim on all the scarlet ores I've made so far. I also finished up setting up the other area. And finally, it was time to fight Azeos. I summoned him using the summon item and started whacking him non-stop. So this guy attacks with a laser beam like that. It's easily dodgeable as long as you're aware. If ever I'm not aware, I'll just bring out my shield and reduce like 70% of the damage. So this fight wasn't really that hard. I'm pretty happy that I have lifesteal going on as well. This guy also summons these blue rocks, which heals himself if ever we don't break them. So I gotta break them. Break. They're very easy to break. If you don't break them, he'll keep regenerating non-stop. So this is why I'm meant, but I can't, you know, avoid it because I'm at the center. Easily avoidable or easily safety net with my shield. Anyways, whack, and he died. Let's go. We have defeated Azeos. And we have received his soul, I guess. And we have now obtained his power. So there's a 10% chance to spawn the Thunder Beam when a melee critical hits. So that's pretty useful. And for the item, I got myself the Azeos Dash Feather, a better version than the white Dash Feather we have early game. Also a merchant summoning item, and with this we can summon like the Fisherman NPC. With that done, I spoke to the core and he said that the Sunken Sea in which Omoros resides can be found at the south. Alright, cool. Good thing I dug like south already. And since our journey will take us to the sea, I made myself the boat crafting bench and will make myself a boat. First, it was ore gathering time. Look at the amount of tin ores I've been making so far with all these drills. Not only that, I also made a bunch of iron. I have more in the map I need to collect. So a very lucky thing happened. I found the goat that was missing. I wanted to get this guy because I remembered I saw him early game. And now he had actually spawned a lot of wool here when he was isolated right there. I had to go home and pick up a transportation box and take him back. For the ores, I got around like 594 tin, 409 iron, and 400 gold. Crazy. I also built the house for our third NPC and... Wait, he's not spawning. What am I missing? Anyways, because I had a lot of wool now, I made myself a new scarlet backpack, scarlet armor set. Also a fishing area here by making a mold area plus getting water from the mold place. So this is a very convenient spot to like fish for mold stuff. Basically just bring the fishing areas to your base as long as you have the right water and the right walls surrounding it, I believe. I also got myself a plague mask from all that fishing. Also, with enough materials, I made myself a boat. And once I was ready, I traveled down below to the Sunken Sea. I'm pretty happy that I didn't need to travel to the sea at the moment and just like, you know, there's already ground here and a lot of slimes and coral trees. I didn't really feel like sailing the open seas right now. I just decided to like grind up in the area where land was so I wouldn't have any trouble fighting like monsters. There were a lot of new stuff here. I also got myself a summoning tome called a Tome of the Deep, and it's almost like a spinning jellyfish around me that would protect me probably. There were also 2 new crops here called Pupaya, and what the fruit does is for the Pupaya, just by the name, it's Pew Pew, so it increases range attack damage. As for the Pine Grapple, it increases melee damage. Anyways, as I venture here, there was this worm that I just can't kill. For some reason, he was immune. He was like God mode right now. I can't really hit it. I think it's bugged. I normally could kill this thing, but for some reason, I can't. And it's only this worm. I even traveled like somewhere else and I couldn't find any worm like this. I think he is just unique. Anyways, for the ore here, it's called octarine. It's this purple looking thing on the wall. They look like pearls actually. I then had a genius idea about the worm. I tried putting like dirt blocks and he can't really cross the sea. So he just stays here. So I just need to skedaddle out of here and maybe he'll ignore me next time. And so the plan for the Sunken Island was basically to just gather octarine ores near the shore, so I don't need to explore the ocean at the moment. My goal right now was just to collect some seashells. I think I need about 20 pieces in order to make the scanner, as well as a lot of the blue slimes. I can convert these blue slimes on the ground into slime balls. 10 pieces is equivalent to 1 slime ball, so that's also a goal. With 100 pieces of this, or 120, I can make the scanner for the slime boss as well. So on my first trip, I managed to collect about 155 octarine ores, and that's pretty good actually. I added like the coral trees on my tree farm. Not really added, but replaced 2 of my wood to coral. And as you can see, I then set up a bunch of new fishing areas by surrounding a place with blocks. I now have one for the ocean biome, larva, cave, and wilderness. But one thing to note is that it doesn't actually work. The wilderness and the cave biome one doesn't work. Maybe because of the liquid, since it only uses like normal liquid. But for the clay caves, since I'm using like the water from the parasite or the insect caves, it works out. And also the ocean, it works out because it's ocean water. So yeah, I spent a good amount of time fishing some ocean fish, I guess. Managed to get a diving helm. It's one of the parts of the fishing gears. Once we have like 5 set, we have 29% chance to get double fish when catching a fish. That's pretty cool. I just needed the kelp armor left. And the kelp armor can be obtained at the mold area. You know, the one above this ocean fishing spot I made. It's pretty rare, so it will take some time, I guess. Anyways, enough about fishing. It's time to get all our octarine bars we've made and see what we can make from here. So with octarine bar, I can now make a new workbench. My goal was to make the portal to make it very convenient for us to go home and go to another area. It's very expensive though. Waiting for my other octarine ores to convert to bars, I decided to grind Malugas the Corrupted. I actually wanted to turn myself into a mage. That's why I'm farming this guy. I was hoping to get like the fire staff and the arcane staff that it drops. It never really dropped when I tried farming him before. That's why I was never a mage. Now I'm, I want to be a mage. After the second try on this guy, I got myself the fireball staff. Cool. And finally on the 5th try, I got the arcane staff. I got 2 of the magical ones I wanted to get. Let's go. We can now become a magician. I'm a wizard. So I upgraded both my magical staff to the maximum amount I can using my scarlet bars and octarine bars. For the armor set, I chose to use the soaring set because it has like a lot of mana regeneration and we'll need a lot of mana regeneration in order to become a magician. For the accessories, I chose the one that was fit for magicians. My necklace is the bubble necklace. It has some magical damage as well as some mana regeneration. For offhand, I would probably use the blue tome because it has like mana regeneration as well. For the ring, I'll be crafting the glow tulip ring for the extra mana regeneration, as the other ring for magical barrier. It's the only rings I have, so I'll make do with it. And since it has been a while, I collected a lot of my scarlet ores, and oh my god, look at the amount of ores it has been making. Crazy amounts. The total number is 1,000. Holy. Anyways, I continued fishing at the ocean biome, as the fish called the bottom tracer, when you cook it, it gives like 2.8 mana regeneration per second, so that's pretty useful. Aside from that, we can also get something called a pink coralotl. an axolotl, pink axolotl. They also gives like 50 max mana for 10 minutes and 36 magic barrier for 10 minutes. So both of these fishes I will benefit as well. For magic damage, I can fish at the wilderness for an emerald featherfish, which gives like 21% magic damage for like 10 minutes. After all that was done, it was time to head out. I tried out my magic with the slimes and oh my god, my mana is already depleting so fast. I really need to find something that would regenerate mana. Magician is a pretty hard class actually, because of mana. And finally, the day has come. It was finally time to explore the Sunken Sea again. And my damage is... okay. I wasn't really, you know, I wasn't into magicians that much once that I've tried it now. I guess my magic level is just very low at the moment, that it's not really doing that much damage as I hope for. There's a certain skill in magic where whenever you crit, you can regenerate like a percentage mana. I don't really have that skill yet, but maybe once I have that skill, everything will change. So a crit build is actually necessary for a magician, so you can keep regenerating mana as you hit the enemy. But right now, since our magic is low level, I wasn't really tempted on like continuing this magic build. I was kind of missing my melee build right now. Also, I tried out setting sail at the ocean. Look at this, I'm riding my boat and shooting like magic missiles while in my boat. Pretty cool, right? Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. My damage, it sucks though. Anyways, I found like a high-tech looking dungeon. Really cool lighting, yeah. So time to explore this dungeon. So there were a lot of cool looking things inside. Like, look at this, high-tech stuff. Cool. Inside these dungeons were like mage enemies. I believe they're called the scholars. And there were also these sentry golems. They're really tanky and my magic is having a hard time like killing them, even with a full charge firebolt staff. It takes a while. It takes a while, but it will eventually kill them. The guys at the Sunken Sea drops a new armor set called the Sorcerer armor set. And you know how we're already having a hard time with mana? This armor set doesn't really have anything that regenerates mana, so I'm not really tempted in using this armor set. What I want though is the magical staff that these scholars have. After that dungeon exploration, I then explored the vast ocean again and I found a chest containing an octarine sledgehammer. Let's go. Also a bikini. I don't really need it because it has no armor, but yeah, octarine sledgehammer. So currently, I just continued to grind for more octarine ores. I plan to convert myself to melee again and craft the entire octarine armor set, if it's any good. With a lot of octarine bars on hand, I made myself the octarine axe. Honestly, the axe is one of my favorite weapons in this game, so I'm pretty happy to become a melee character again with an octarine axe. For my armor set, I just decided to go back to the Scarlet armor set. It's actually pretty good compared to the Octarine armor set. The Octarine armor set is all over the place. You have a helmet that gives, I believe, mining damage. Boots that gives like range damage. And for the armor, it's okay because it's melee damage. So yeah, I believe I benefit more from the Scarlet set since it gives like critical chance. But the set effect for the Scarlet isn't really that great. So I decided to just make the armor for Octarine. So we have like 2 Scarlet and 1 Octarine. Wasn't done preparing yet. I spent some time fishing at the Forgotten Ruins to get some pink phallus fish since it gives like attack speed when cooked. After all those shenanigans was done, it was time to head back to the Sunken Seas and collect more Octarines and shells so I can locate Amaroth. As well as some blue slime so I can locate Morpha, the giant slime boss. I also explored these ruins whenever I get the chance to. You can see how my life became way easier as I converted back to melee. Oh my god. The best. Got this thing called a channeling gemstone. Not really sure what it is for, but I guess it's unique or it's rare because it's purple. So I'm gonna keep it in my chest at base. I also got this thing called a shutdown protocol. Alright, cool. Also, one of the scholars finally dropped its staff, so I tried it out. It looks pretty nice. Look at this multi-shot. The damage isn't there though. But it's nice. It's nice. I then found this thing called the Anchor Axe. And it's like it has a longer range than my current axe. But for the item effect, it was pretty bad compared to my Octarine Axe. So the Anchor Axe has both knockback plus critical hit damage, while the Octarine Axe has critical hit chance. I like the hit chance more since I don't really have a lot of crit hit chance. I then found a cool shield from the sentry golems. It's called a sentry shield, and there's a 30% chance that the block would like convert into shockwaves and hit the enemies. That's pretty cool. Once I was done exploring the dungeon I was at, it was time to go back to seashell hunting and Octarine ore hunting. I then found this giant seashell and it dropped me a necklace. This necklace was called the Conch Shell Necklace and it gave like a lot of good stats like armor, health, and dodge chance. I of course used it. Also, instead of using a boat, I actually just planted a lot of dirt ground instead. I believe this was way faster than using a boat. Maybe unless you have the speedy boat. Finally, I've collected enough materials to make myself a portal. Now I can place this wherever I want and can go to places whenever I want. The waypoint and the portal is actually connected, so I don't need to leave a portal at home. I can just use the waypoint. It takes like 10 minutes to charge up the portal. So once we place it down, wait for 10 minutes, we can use it indefinitely. Like go back base, go back to the portal. Only needs to charge once. So I've gathered enough materials already to make both the Morpha scanner and the Almorath scanner. For Morpha, I just needed to head straight down. He was just right there. Alright, so that's our our next goal right now. After Morpha, we'll kill Almorok. And Almorok is pretty close as well. Cool. So this is the food I'm talking about, the pink shark fillet. So it is a pink palace fish plus a mold shark. It gives like 38% physical melee damage and also 9.2% melee attack speed. Pretty nice food buff. And so I went on a journey towards Morpha, making myself a dirt bridge towards Morpha. After reaching the island where Morpha was, I laid down my portal and then started mining towards Morpha. My first goal right now was to locate where the waypoint is, so we don't need our portal. Because I want to retrieve my portal back, because it's pretty important. Since I know every boss has a waypoint, it's way better to just find the waypoint. I explored like the entire island, but there's no waypoint at all. So I assumed that the waypoint would be outside the island, but just near enough that it's close to Morpha. And while checking out the area or cleaning up the area near Morpha, I actually made a mistake. And yeah, I couldn't escape this predicament because of the slowness of the slime as well as, you know, being slippery. It was hard to control my movements. I will 100% succumb to my death here because oh my god, I'm just trapped. I can't do anything. I am shielding myself up, healing myself with potions, and trying to defeat Morpha. But it feels like I'm in a spot or I'm in a position where I just don't think I would... Oh, I survived. Let's go. I re-engaged at Morpha thinking that I had a chance and I didn't need to locate the waypoint. And well, I died because I was at the center where he was spreading his bubbles. Thank God we have our portal so we can get our items back pretty fast. I tried fighting him again and I got pretty close to defeating him. But one thing that happened was the durability of my armor just decided to like break. So I have no armor now and like, you know, as you can see, everything was just chaotic at this point and I succumbed to my death again. I made sure to reinforce everything before going back to challenge Morpha again. This time, I plan to just hit and run. So my plan involves avoiding his jump attacks, even though it's really hard to maneuver because of being, you know, sliding, slippery, thingy. But the strategy involves like just trying to dodge, tank everything when jumping. But when it's bubble time, I'll do my best to like run away. But right now, I just didn't have a choice but to tank it in the face. But whenever I do have a chance, I will run away. I have my blink on my other armor set. So this was a chance for me to like outmaneuver this guy each time like a chance comes. So the strategy here is just run away whenever he jumps to me, or when he uses bubble attack, just try to avoid the bubble so we don't get slippery, slimy. So it's working out, honestly. Because of the walls of this place, I avoid like most of this bubble attacks. I'll just try to hit him with my normal attack. It went on for a while until eventually we have managed to kill Morpha. Here we go. Let's go. So one of my goal is to get like the entire slime armor set so we're immune to slippery movement. Since we still have Almarith to defeat and we're gonna be encountering a lot of crabs and blue slimes. So I'm gonna farm this guy. I went home first to deliver a bunch of items that's been stockpiling on my inventory and expanded my armory because yeah, we've been getting so many stuff lately that I need to expand this. I need more pedestals to put my items on. Afterwards, I continued looking for where the waypoint was. I really wanted to activate the waypoint. It's always better to, you know, have waypoint than use a portal because portal requires a lot of materials to make. I eventually found it. It was on another island just near Morpha. I continued my exploration and I found myself a giant shipwreck. And there was a epic necklace here which gives like a more healing attribute to healing over time effects. That's pretty cool. I then cleaned the area where Morpha was because I planned to challenge him again for another item of his set. This time, I know how to defeat this guy easier than before. And the previous tactic, just run away and hit him whenever we have the chance. And upon killing Morpha the second time, I got myself an egg plus another armor, which I'm pretty sad because, you know, I don't need the armor. I already have one after all. So I challenge him again. Hopefully we get another part this time. And yes, we did. We got the Morpha's ring. I only need like 2 pieces of the set in order to be immune to slipping. So this was great. Nice. We don't need to like remove the slimes on the floor anymore because we won't be slipping anymore. So I just challenged him for the 3rd time because I had one more crown in my inventory. I was hoping to get like the helmet so we can put it in the, you know, the wood puppet thing where I put my armors on. But well, I wasn't really that lucky. Anyways, it's time for Almoroth. And so I made another dirt bridge towards Almoroth. I was very happy to immediately find the waypoint so I don't need to look for this thing anymore. And because I'm focused on a melee build, I will cover the entire area with dirt, coral, anything, just make a platform because I don't really have any levels or damage on magic or ranged weapons, so I'll be fighting this guy melee style. I made sure to leave spaces at the whirlpool looking thing because that's where Almoroth usually rise up. I then made a summoning item to summon Almoroth. I buffed myself up with all the food I have, increasing my damage to almost everything, and also having a potion that increases my physical damage by 30%, and I began the fight. He easily broke through the platforms I made. Well, understandable. Anyways, it's very easy to like fight him in melee because of what I did with the boss area. But still, look at the damage this guy does. At the very least, he can't summon. The summon he did immediately died because I guess it went to the land platform and the tentacles only live in the water, of course. So this was an advantage I have against these guys. He won't be summoning anytime soon. Maybe unless he summons it in water. So I have a great chance of like beating this guy as long as I'm careful and not die from recklessness. So yeah, let's try to avoid the tornado as much as possible and hit him when he's like not doing anything or moving at all. Below 50% health, he got enraged, so we need to be careful here. He would probably throw out more tornado, but worry not, we have our shield to defend us. Also, his summons are kind of useless right now, so without those, I don't think he's a threat as long as I defend myself from his tornadoes. Good thing I had a lot of potions with me, or else I'd probably have a hard time against this. A few more whacks and he should be dead. But not gonna risk it and just slowly whittle at his HP and defend myself against the tornadoes if ever he throws some. If he does succeed in summoning his tentacles, they will try to slap me down and kill me. But yeah, this was such a big plus for me for making all these platforms. And with that, we have defeated Omoros. Let's go. And we obtained another power. Sadly, though, this power only works for ranged weapons. As you can see, there's like 3% chance to spawn a tornado when you hit with a ranged weapon. I'm very happy to get like the Almoreth leg armor and the chest piece. We also obtained like an Almoreth necklace, which has a really good stat. This wasn't how the fight should have been. Usually, I think we need to make a boat, the speedy boat, so we can avoid most of the tornadoes. But yeah, I'm using big brain tactics here. The only thing left to do now in the Sunken Sea at the moment would be to look for a giant octarine boulder. And I found it. Nice. Let's go. I'm gonna set this up for a drilling farm and then leave a portal here so I can easily access this place. It's pretty far from the waypoint, so yeah, leaving a portal would be a good idea. So while the portal is charging, I decided to keep going up until I reach the Desert of Beginnings, the next area we need to explore. And after making a very long dirt bridge, I finally reach it, the Desert of Beginnings. So the ores we're gonna be farming here is called a galaxite. And for the threat here, there are two main threats. One would be those red bugs. They explode when like they're in low health, and there were also those caveling assassins. They're pretty strong and they hurt a lot. I'm very lucky that the very first scarab I killed dropped like a mortar, a bomb scarab mortar, because it takes a while for my octarine hammer to actually destroy the blocks here. Like, look how many hits it takes me to destroy and get the ores. It takes a while, like maybe 4 hits, 5 hits, 6 hits. Yeah, it takes a while. But with the mortar, I can one-shot every block in the area. It's very OP, and I'm very lucky to get the mortar early. Like, it's crazy. Farming is so easy because of this hand mortar. I can even destroy like the temple blocks. You usually can't do this with a pickaxe, but I can do it with a mortar. Crazy. For the chest inside these temple, it contained like a paladin armor set. There really wasn't a set effect, but it's a new armor. Nice. For the monsters inside these temples, they're mummies with dark magic. Look how threatening they are. But they're not really that hard to kill. Maybe around 2 charges and they die. One of the mummies dropped this magical sword, and each attack requires mana. It looks pretty interesting, but every swing takes some mana. I tried it out and, well, it sucks. Look, I'm out of mana. I can't hit it anymore. So I had to switch to my axe. And so I continued the grind with my hand mortar, explodey everywhere. Very easy to farm the galaxite ores. I actually have a lot now. Also, I stumbled upon this magma area with some weird things I haven't saw, like even in my past playthrough. I think this is new on the 1.0 update. Not entirely sure. So this thing contained an item called the Splendid Amalgam, and it gives you plus 40 HP permanently. Crazy. We have an increased 40 HP now. Anyways, my goal here is to collect about 40 pieces of this red thing on the ground. It's a scarab fragment. In order to make the scanner, we'll need about 40 pieces of them. Also, upon digging through blocks after blocks, I finally found a giant or boulder version of the galaxite ore. So I'm gonna set this up as a drilling farm. Let's go. Since my portal is still charging, I'll just leave it for now and continue my exploration. I then found a lot of like really nice looking areas. I wasn't really sure what I can get from here. Maybe just the structures. Nothing else. There's like no chests here. But well, it's nice to see. And the place full of sand, there's actually water here. Oh, that's nice to know. And while on my grind for the scarabs, I actually got careless and died. And since the portal has charged up now, I decided to set up the drilling bases I wanted to do. For now, I set up the one for octarine. Afterwards, the galaxite ore. I then went back to the place I died and got all my items back. I continued the grind and stumbled upon another volcano area, or volcano cave. I didn't feel really brave right now, so I just decided to ignore it for now and just mark it on my map. Till like I have a galaxite armor set or something. Upon returning home, I crafted 4 smelters for these higher leveled ores. I got a total of 400 plus galaxite ore from that one trip. And since I had a lot of octarine and scarlet bars anyway, I decided to craft even more of this Fury Forge. About 8 of them should be enough. Since the process of turning galaxite ore to galaxite bar actually takes a long time, having more forges is beneficial. Then set up a lava area in my fishing farm. So this one is lava surrounded by blocks of the Desert of Beginnings. And I'm able to fish like the fishes from lava using a galaxite rod. So I'm gonna farm a lot of these fishes. I was surprised to get a Steam achievement. I actually got a legendary item called the Starlight Nautilus. And what it does, it gives 100 max health permanently. What? Let's go. So I ate it up and increased my max HP. One of the things I fished up is this thing called the Miner's Protective Helmet. It was part of a 5-set mining set. I'll fish up a bunch of these Starlight Nautilus thingies. Like, oh my god, there's a lot of them. It's actually a common item. It's not really legendary, but I guess it qualifies as legendary and in this case. After all that farming, I decided to just upgrade my Nautilus gear and my slime armor and raided the magma cave. It was finally time to try and get something new inside these caves. So inside these caves, as you can see, there are magma slimes and they burn you if you touch them. I also got this thing called Core Iris, which increases my mining potency. One of the more annoying enemies here were these butterflies that like shoots fireballs. They hurt a lot when they hit you, but good thing I have a shield that protects me. Still though, they have a burning effect which really hurts a lot. I totally forgot that one of the fishes I fish from lava has an effect that makes you immune to like burning. So maybe when I go home, I'll cook that and hopefully we'll have an easier time once we're immune to being burned. Inside a cave, there was actually a giant galaxite ore, but we already have our drilling farm, so I think that's enough. We're collecting a lot of galaxite ore just by destroying blocks here. I don't think I need that much. Also, another thing, I got this thing called a Grim Hood. It's part of the Grim set. It's a minion or a summoner item set. I don't really need it, but it looks cool. I wish I can get like an armor for me. On the boxes here, or maybe from the monsters, I got this thing called a Black Ring, which gives like mining speed and mining damage. I'm slowly finishing up my miner sets. We're gonna have so much mining damage that we can even mine like these volcanic walls one day. Another one to our mining set, the Black Necklace. We now have a 3-set part. I'm just missing the armor piece and the leg piece. I'm not entirely sure what this place I discovered is, but when I whacked this thing, it's called the Ancient Forge. I can't really interact with it, but it had like a pickaxe mold on the center, so I'm assuming it's for a legendary pickaxe or something, but I just can't use it at the moment. For now, I returned home to base because I remembered I found like 2 copper nodes. I decided to make a grind farm there because I was needing copper now. I was lacking because I've kept making portals and I need more copper to make portals. So yeah, I made this. Currently, I have 4 out of 5 of the miner set. And just look at how I smash the walls with this miner set. I one-shot it just like the mortar, but this time it's faster because, you know, I'm just whacking it with my sledgehammer rather than using explosives. Amazing, this miner set, I swear. Currently, I'm heading towards Morpha. I already made a scanner since I collected a lot of magma slimes earlier when we raided that volcano. So I assume Igneous is here. And after locating the waypoint, it was now time to make our way inside. But holy, look at the amount of butterflies guarding the area. I actually had to be careful here. I slowly killed them one by one, just luring them closer. I hate how I can't really get close to them as they're like hovering on lava. Finally, after like, you know, using my hole to open up a digging spot, I got the last part of my mining set, the pants. And now we have a 5 set. Let's go. Anyways, I continued to traverse the magma dungeon in order to go to Morpha. There were so many slimes and butterflies here that it took me a while before I got to Morpha. But well, by just being careful, I should be able to survive all these dangerous monsters. After I found the path to Morpha, I went home first and upgraded my axe to the maximum I can. I then headed my way back again to Morpha, but before I fight him, I decided to cover up all the ground area so I won't have a difficult time fighting him. After covering like 1/2 of the area, I decided I was ready to fight this guy now. So I initiated the fight. So what this guy does is he sometimes summons those magma balls, and if he gets close to even one of them, he heals up a lot of his HP. So I just learned of this, so I need to be careful now. His attack patterns is pretty simple though. He usually just jumps like another ordinary giant slime, how it fights. But the thing he's unique of is his firebolts. So yeah, I just need to run away each time he tries to jump and then hit him whenever he's like staying still or shooting firebolt. But I have to make sure I have my shield up in case he does his firebolt attack, or else I'm gonna be dead because it hurts a lot, like maybe 1/3 of his damage. So yeah, whenever he summons these things, I should really try my best to destroy them as fast as I can because look, he's full HP again, and yeah, pain in the butt. So TLDR of this fight, I got very complacent. I did not shield up, or maybe I did, but anyways, I got burned to death because, you know, I totally forgot about the fireball and died. I was close to killing him though. I then came back, got all my items back, buffed myself up, and it was time for round 2. Well, not yet. I decided to expand the arena some more by breaking the rocks in the lava and also covering more of the lava area. I learned from that last fight that I needed something to give me like anti-slip, so I had to go home again and get that food that prevents me from slipping or getting slowed down by slimes. And after all that shenanigans, it was time for round 2. Just look at the critical damage I've been doing. It's almost like 3k. My damage is amazing, especially the crit. I think, yeah, 2k. How does like my 900 damage turn to 2k? I'm not sure how many crit percent I have right now. Maybe it's because of all the food buff I have currently. I'm not sure. But as you can see, the fight became so much easier once I had the buff that prevents me from slowing down upon like touching slimes. This is so much easier. Immune to burning, immune to, you know, slow reduction. Just make sure I live from the firebolt and it should be very easy. And when he summons the healing things, I should target that first like I'm doing right now. Also, I change up my necklace. I change it to a thing that every time I hit with my melee, it gives me like 7 HP. Plus with a food that also gives me like 7 HP in hit, I get like 14 HP every hit. So I'm currently a really nice tank. I'm just life-stealing everything that I lose and just, you know, continue the fight. Okay, so a few more and Igneous should die. He's getting faster because he's enraged, but like I said, only the Firebolt is the most dangerous attack he can do to us because it's easy to time the dodge on his jump attacks. So yeah, also make sure to remove all these orbs, and we have defeated Igneous. Let's go. And for the loot, I got myself the helmet, which is not really good compared to the current helmet I have, which is Amarok. I mean, the burn damage is good, but only 25? And I'm doing like 3k crit on my normal attack? Yeah, it's really not that worth. Okay, so after the Igneous fight, it was now time to continue looking for the red scarab fragments. So once we collect like 40, we can locate where Rakar is, the third titan we're gonna be trying to defeat. Upon my quest to collect the scarab fragments, I actually found like, I'm not sure what to call this, but the blue crystals. I mean, the blue caves or something. So for now, I just mark them and leave them alone. I need to focus on Rakar first. Am I actually wrong and it's called Rakar? Rakar. My bad. Rakar. I'm actually very happy to be encountering these crystal caves, because now I have a lot of spots I can explore once I'm done with Raakar. There were a lot of areas that had like very close ores. Oh, this place is also actually called the Shimmering Frontier. So I mined these Solarite ores since they were pretty close. So saw like a giant snail. But yeah, like I said, I'm focusing on Raakar, so I'm gonna be ignoring them for now. And with enough scarab fragments, I now made the scanner. And upon scanning the area, I was actually really close to him. I was almost there. Just a few more digs. Dang. For now though, I decided to fish at the desert since there are new fishes I wanted. One of them was a combination of a white axolotl and a sandy spikeback that gave like 200 mining damage. One of my food buff contained a fish called Turnus Kingfish that adds like 50% increased damage. After all my preparation, it was finally time to fight Raakar. Located the waypoint first before engaging the boss fight. Crafted the summoning item and it was time to face Raakar. After buffing myself, I placed down the thumper and waited for Raakar to rise from the ground. The Sand Titan. So this guy's attack is not really hard. As you can see, sands are just swirling around me. The next one is he constantly moves like that and easily avoidable with our shield, I guess. Next is he just keeps doing the same thing. But another attack of his is a homing triangular thingy which we can block with our shield because, you know, I don't want to keep running. Let me just like eat the damage and then continue attacking him, I guess. Another one is like that tremor you just saw, but easily dodgeable again as long as you have the movement speed. But the one annoying thing is like his summons for scarabs. Scarab explosion damage is pretty high, so best be careful, I guess. And we're almost there. We almost defeated Raakar. Just a few more hits. And yeah, as you can see, these triangles don't really stop. Not unless they hit something like a collision. So yeah, the best way I thought would be like blocking it with my shield. Also, if my shield reflects like shockwaves, that's pretty great. And yeah, the most dangerous thing is, yeah, these scarabs. The explosions are just too strong. So yeah, a few more hits and we have defeated Raakar. Let's go. And we have received his power. So what this does is basically every time we hit something, there's a chance that we will spawn an ancient projectile, basically the yellow thingies, and will home to targets as the description describes. Also for the items, we have obtained a giant bug brain as well as an headpiece and an armor piece of Raakar. So continuing our journey, I'm currently farming a lot of bomb peppers and bloat oats. I'll need them for some health regeneration and food. I have a side of me that is a perfectionist, and because I was lacking in some bloat oat seeds, I had to go back to the wilderness and look for a lot of bloat oats. Well, since I'm already here, I decided to farm a bunch of poison slimes as well as try to locate, if ever we get lucky, and find Morpha, the giant poisonous slime boss. I haven't really defeated Morpha yet. I just couldn't, I did not bother to farm like 90 poison slimes to make the scanner. But now that we have a really strong sludge hammer, I can easily get some slimes. I returned home first to finish my farming area, and look how pretty it is. And then I crafted a bunch of healing potions. I'm using one that's lower tiered because poison slimes are pretty hard to find. Afterwards, I decided to try out leveling up my combat skills. So I, use the Hive Mother as a farming area. As you can see here, we have a setup where we lure all the insects in one spot and just continuously stab them until they die. I AFK'd here for quite a bit actually. And after reaching like level 90 in melee combat, I decided it was time to stop and continue our exploration. I then collected a lot of my ores that have been farming so far. Look at the amount of scarlet ores we have. We have a supply to last like, I don't know, the entire game session, I guess. Even more than that, actually. For now, I continued exploring in the wilderness. My goal is to get a lot of the slimes. I wanted to kill Ivy first, the giant slime boss, poison slime boss, before I explore the Shimmering Frontier. I randomly found a mold dungeon as I was digging through walls, and I saw this giant bug with a weapon on it. And as I took the weapon, it was a poisonous sickle. It has a really high crit hit damage percentage, and also there's a chance to apply poison. So I was pretty tempted to use this weapon instead of my Octarine axe, even if this axe is my beloved Octarine axe. But yeah, not at the moment. Maybe after I upgrade it after returning home. It took me a while to actually collect all the poisonous slimes that I needed. Also, one of my goals here was just maybe to explore the entirety of the area. I was very hopeful to find Morpha without crafting the scanner. But also, I wanted to, you know, find random things that I haven't found yet. And wow, I stumbled upon a Shimmering Frontier in the wilderness. I always thought that this was only found at the Desert of Beginnings or something. Alright, here's something cool I found. Cherry blossoms. And there's also like this blanket thingy on the ground. So I took it for myself and I'm gonna place it in my base. Another cool scene I found was this thing. It looked like a swirly thing in the minimap, but it was just like the land where animals are usually at. No treasure really, just a good scenery. I also found a house at a mold dungeon. Like what? So I'm basically the intruder here and I destroyed everyone who owned this house. And looky, I have a cherry blossom in my base now. Cool. I then visited a bunch of my miners and then destroyed one of the waypoints that I have just beside the base. I don't really have any copper bars right now to make more portals, so this ancient waypoint will serve its purpose as my portal for now. Afterwards, with enough materials, I finally made myself the scanner. I can now fight Ivy. Let's go. And if you notice on my slot bar 1, I actually upgraded the poisonous sickle. So I'll be using this to fight Ivy. And while on my way to the waypoint, I randomly got like a necklace from a slime called the Remediacy necklace. And it made me immune to poison. It's very convenient to get this before our boss fight. Hey, I'm pretty lucky. Let's go. After I got to the waypoint, it was finally time to face Morpha. Aside from Pudvav, I didn't really do any preparation as I'm already too over-leveled for this guy. As you can see, I'm just whacking him very fast to death. I still put my shield up though whenever I get hit, you know, timing so we don't get that much damage. And with this, we have defeated Morpha. And we got ourselves another necklace. Nice. And so I went home, bought like 3 summoning idol thingies, and re-summoned and fought Morpha. For the loots of the second round, I got myself a poison shield. So this thing has a 24% chance to apply poison when blocking melee hits. I'm not even sure if this matters to bosses. Maybe they're immune or something. Anyways, I continued farming Morpha. For the second kill, I got another poisonous sickle. Not that I need an extra one, but okay, sure. And lastly, nothing really interesting. Next up, it was finally time to go to the Shimmering Frontier. We have defeated all the boss that can be defeated before the Shimmering Frontier. So the Shimmering Frontier is basically a biome that's full of like these blue crystals. And as you can see earlier, I got damaged by these crystals for 80. These things are called radiation crystals. And as the name implies, they radiate bad energy that damages us. Anyways, for this first Shimmering Frontier I marked on my map, it was actually just a very small area. I was disappointed. But well, I found a lot more of it, so we can just go to the areas I mark, and hopefully it's a very big area. And yes, truly, it is very big. No cap. On the third area I marked though, it's actually big, and there are even monsters here guarding the place. A lot of monsters actually. So these guys are, I'm not sure how to describe them, but maybe alien tech. Anyways, once they start shielding themselves and firing, they basically can't move. So you can just go behind them and whack them to death, or you can just wait it out and kill them after their shields are out. There's also a new type of wood here called the gleamwood. The gleamwood is that the blue colored stick looking thing. Ores in this place are called Solarite. It's a yellow looking ore, similar color to the ones you see on the screen. Also, as you can see, I'm very happy to see that there's a giant Solarite ore here. So I can start making a drill farm here to farm unlimited amounts of Solarite. Biomes like this, there are also these giant snails. I think they eat Solarite because as you can see on their shells, it's made of Solarite. So if you whack them with your pickaxe or your hammer, it usually drops the Solarite that their shell contains. So make sure to not kill them as those Solarites respawn again on their backs. Took a quick break and went on a fishing trip on my Galaxy Boulder farm. I needed a lot of fish again to cook for my food buffs. Fishes in the Desert of Beginnings is very good as there's this thing called the Turnus Kingfish, and if you cook it with another fish or any other food actually, you will get like a 50% damage boost buff. It's really good, like 50% damage boost. That's crazy. Aside from that, the spike backs are also good for armor and the other one is good for mining. Anyway, since I now had some Solarite bars, I made myself the Solarite workbench. And with this, I unlock a lot of new things. Well, not that much compared to like the lower leveled workbenches. But this time we have the thing called Hydra Altar. And what the Hydra Altar does is you can now craft the summoning items for the Hydras. But let's not worry about that for now. We'll focus on the Shimmering Frontier. Anyway, since gleaming wood is now something we'd need, I decided to expand my tree farm and added like 4 pieces of gleam wood. So hopefully this thing can supply us with all the wood we need. I went to the Shimmering Frontier cave again and set up my Solarite ore farm. Afterwards, I tried to locate the Shimmering Frontier biome that had water so I can get one for my bucket. So this place that I'm farming Solarite ores, it's not only for this, but I made it so that I can fish here as well. I mean, I could have just, build one at the base, but I decided I should just fish here. Why not? And so I spent a good amount of time fishing for fishes here. So the only fish I was interested here at the moment was the glistening deep stalker. What that fish does is if you cook it with something, it will give you like 13% dodge chance for like 10 minutes. So I AFK'd here for a bit. Look at all the fishes I've got. I also got myself a lot of these ninja gears from fishing. So I'm gonna have to be changing some armor. These ninja gears give like dodge chance and crit chance. So they're very good for melee characters. And so I resume my journey looking for more Shimmering Frontier biomes. Maybe I can discover something new. I was looking for a certain place where there's like this arena where aliens try to kill you and the reward would be a chest full of like gears or maybe jewels. It took a while, but I finally found one. Let's go. For now though, I returned home because I had so much stuff on my inventory right now that I needed to like store it up. And since I found like a lot of radiation crystals, I then made myself the scanner for the Hydras. And as you can see here, the 3 Hydras are now marked in my map. So one is at the sea biome, one is at the wilderness, and the other one is the Desert of Beginnings. So we'll be killing that once we're done with our exploration in the Shimmering Frontier. Also the passage maybe. And then I opened a bunch of locked Galaxy and Solarite chests. I didn't really get anything interesting. I mean, all of these new weapons looks appealing, but I'm just looking for a new melee weapon actually. Also, the ninja armor set didn't really last long because I changed it to the Solarite armor set. This was very beneficial for me as a melee build because the armor set gives you like recovering HP or a lifesteal per hit. So that's really good. We can regenerate our HP so we can tank more the more we heal. Plus, we have our melee skill passive that there's a 10% chance to recover like 3% health. I then upgraded a bunch of my gears before returning to the area we left, the alien area. Hopefully, we can find like the thing we're looking for. So inside this place, there are a lot of these boxes and they're breakable. Sometimes they contain equipments like the monk set or sometimes the Cosmos set. Anyways, moving on. This is the area I was talking about. In this area, you challenge like a bunch of aliens and your goal is to stay at the center to fully charge this thing to receive the reward. So you can't really get out or else the timer will reset or something or it's game over. So good thing I got this crossbow from one of these locked Solarite chests. So now I can just attack in range. My damage isn't really that bad. Like, look at my crit damage. Holy, I have a Morphous ring right now. So as you can see, this thing will last for quite a bit. So my strategy here is basically shoot them with my arrow. If there's a lot of them like this, I can just hold my shield in the center and then whack them to death once they're close to me. And finally, I believe this should be the last wave as I am very close to clearing this thing. And by defeating that thing, it tried to summon, but as you can see, well, it actually succeeded. Anyways, this is the last wave, not the other one, but this one. And there we go. We have finished the challenge and we have received a chest reward, which contained the nuclear battery and a desert ruby, as well as an obliteration ray. This thing is amazing at mining. Also amazing if you use it to kill like enemies. Like, Jesus Christ, it's so good. Just look at this. I'm mining very fast. Actually, my sledgehammer is way faster than this. But like I said, this thing can be used to kill mobs. It actually deals a decent amount of damage if you wear like a mining set. So it's gonna be very useful against bosses. Also, now that we have the obliteration ray, I don't need to get close to the radiation crystal. I can just fire my laser from afar. Also, the Shimmering Frontier I am at now is a very huge biome. I think this is now a section of the map where it's all Shimmering Frontier. It's crazy. I thought it would be like sections like how we saw earlier, but now it's actually a giant huge area full of shimmering stuff. And by exploring the entire place, I accidentally found the void. I'm joking. So the other side of this place is probably the passage because there's nothing else there. Like, it's like the tip of the map where there's nothing. And I was right. As you can see there was this new type of soil leading to the other side. It's like a bridge made by the game. Also, look at this place. Very pretty yellow trees, crystals, and stuff, which I'm gonna destroy because maybe it contains a good item. After spending a decent amount of time, I think I've already explored all I wanted to explore in the Shimmering biome. Like, I got all the items I needed here. It was time to move on to our next goal, which would be the passage. I've gotten a total of 450 Solarite ores from that one trip alone. I then made a room for our new NPC. For the flooring, I used Galeem wood, and as you can see, it's very cool because it's glowing. It's very pretty to look at, honestly. So this guy's the new NPC in a hazmat suit. He sells a lot of new stuff. Very expensive though. It's a complete set of hazmat suit, but it's like 3,000 coins each. Also this lunar cheese that can reduce the duration of snare and stun. So I of course bought all of them and wait for him to reset this. Another thing he sold was this thing called the bait pillar. What it does is it summons the Atlantean worm. It basically lures it to where we place it in the water. Right now, I don't really care about the hazmat suit. I can easily like destroy the radiation crystal with our obliteration ray, so I don't really plan on buying this thing. I then placed down all the Solarite chests I found in my adventure and open it up one by one. For the loot, I did not really get anything interesting. It's just Cosmos armor and the blind monk armor. Aside from that, there was also the Solarite sword, but I don't really plan on using it because I like my octarine axe. I wish I had the magma axe though. For now, and since it's been a while, I decided to collect all the ores that I've been mining so far using my drills. There's a lot of them, so I'm gonna be spending like half of all these put together, selling it to the merchant so I can get some gold. The gold ores are basically the ones that would give me the most money. Now I can buy the Atlantean bait. And because this fight is going to be in the water, I'll need to craft the speeder. And also, I'll need to convert myself into a range build. I'll be going for the ninja set except for the pants because I don't have the ninja pants. Anyways, it was time to fight the Atlantean worm. So I buffed myself with all my food buffs. I should really post a screenshot of all of these so you can see what kind of buffs I have. These buffs are crazy, but they're mostly for melee class. I did not make one for range. But it works well since, except for the melee buffs. So I placed down the bait and immediately the worm got lured very fast actually. I was not expecting this. I did not finish like preparing myself yet. Here it was and I'm dealing like 0 damage. Actually, to deal damage with this thing, you need to hit like the gaps. You know, you see that broken skin and the white skin it has? So my bow, or basically any crossbow, has a skill called Piercing Shot. And it's very great against this guy, as you can just aim at the center of their head as they approach you, and it will basically hit everything on their body parts. Just look at that. The damage is crazy though. I need to run or I will die. But anyways, as you can see, I'm just fully charging my crossbow in hopes that I can hit like the parts that are vulnerable. And I'm actually doing pretty well here. Look at the amount of damage I do using the piercing shot. If it was a singular shot, it's probably gonna be hard. So we'll be doing this until it dies. And yeah, I'll try to survive as much as I can. The speedster is not really that fast, but it's good enough that I can avoid like most of the Atlantean worms. I hate how they spread like that once like you break something. Because like the more there is in this fight, the dangerous it is for me. Anyways, just one more part and we should be able to kill it. I'm kind of amazed how I'm doing pretty well with the range weapon. I don't really have any range level right now. I believe my range level is just 17. So that shouldn't be a lot. Anyways, we have defeated the Atlantean worm. For the rewards, we got ourselves an Atlantean worm ring. And it gives like 4 life per melee hit. That's pretty good on our melee build. Let's go. Also, this thing called the Atlantean worm meat, which gives like permanent 100 HP. So eating this, we now have an additional 100 HP. Let's go. So now that's done. We're done with the Shimmering Frontier and we're done with the Atlantean worm. It's finally time to explore the passage. So of course, I placed down a waypoint here because if I die, at least we're very close to where the passage is. This place honestly feels so dangerous, and the walls, they're very thick. Even with my full mining gear, they're very thick. Like, look how long it takes me to break this. And I can break like the Shimmering Frontier walls in one hit. But with the Obliteration Ray, it's doing pretty well. Look at how fast we're drilling through. So these new things, these green things, are new types of ore called the Pandemonium ores. I mean, Pandorium ores. Pandemonium. So I guess we'll be needing a lot of these, both to upgrade our gears and also to make the new gears. In the passage, there are things like these things that look like bugs. And when you hit them, they explode just like that. And they deal like a ton of damage. So be careful on your adventures in the passage. And while exploring here, I encountered giant monsters. Like, wow. They look like boss level monsters. Like crazy. Also, what's crazier is my crit rate. Look at my 3.5k damage. Damn. Anyways, I found like a temple-like place in this area, and so we will explore inside and see what we can get from here. It's mostly empty except that there's this one chest and it contains like either one of the 3 jewels. One is the ocean, one is the ruby, and the other one is an emerald. So these rubies are used to make the summoning items for the worms, the hydras. So currently my goal would be to locate these 3 gems so we can make the summoning items for the hydras. Another thing we need is there's a certain altar in the passage that we need in order to craft the gears using the Pandorium bars we're gonna make after our adventure here. And then I finally found the water of this place. We can start our fishing journey again. Because fishing is one of the best things you can do in Core Keeper. Because fish benefits a lot as food. I'm not even using any more food from planting. Every food I have right now is from fishing. Maybe except my healing regeneration food. I'm using like the Blood Oath plus Bomb Pepper combo. Anyways, for now, I returned home because I needed my bucket in order to grab some water. And as I returned, grabbed some water, and continued my exploration, I found myself a Pandorium giant ore boulder. I'm not sure if I should just call this giant ore. But anyways, we can now start farming this. So I, of course, immediately set up the farm. So we can just wait and like have a lot of Pandoriums. Let's go. I then continued my adventure and found another chest. This time it contained the emerald. Let's go. Just one more and we can make the 3 summoning items for the hydras. So the ruby left. I actually didn't need to look for the ruby, as the ruby was a reward from the Shimmering Frontier. Remember when we got our obliteration ray? So now I made myself the very first Hydra summoning item. I actually need to defeat the first Hydra first before I can summon the next Hydra and the next Hydra. And then a very unfortunate thing happened to me as I went back to the passage. I died. And my body was so far from the portal I have. But well, I'll just explore and enjoy the view, I guess. Another unfortunate thing happened to me again. The ground was shaking and I wasn't even sure what was happening. So the boss was actually here and I couldn't escape in time. I died. Oh, I got eaten up. The good thing is, the boss doesn't really destroy structures. As you can see, our portal and drills are fine. And so I continued my search for the altar that... Oh, here it is. We can now make gears. Let's go. And so I tried to check if I can mine it and place it home. And turns out I can. So now my plan is just to dig all the structures around this place and put the rift to my base and make it look good with the structures that was surrounding it before I took it. And here we are, the rift statue. We just need to wait for our Pandorium ores to finish turning into bars and we can craft the new gears. Pandorium set has a nice amount of health, a nice amount of dodge. What it doesn't have is defense. This armor set doesn't have defense. Also, I crafted an upgrade to my obliteration ray. It is now called the Stormbringer and it has unlimited durability. I also crafted myself the Pandorium axe. Finally, an upgrade to our Octarine axe. And just look at us. We look like Loki because of the horns. I also made the scanner for the boss. The boss name is actually Orschleim. Not sure if pronouncing this right. So now this time we can track him down so we won't be eaten like last time. And holy, the passage is a very big place. I then made a fishing farm for the passage fishes in my base. I was hoping that I could get a good fish here that would give like good stat boost. But actually, there was no good fish for the passage that would benefit us. Actually, this thing was very good. 344 mining damage for 10 minutes. What? After I was done with my fishing session, it was finally time to fight the Hydra. So I summoned it using the summoning item and I did not expect the Hydra to appear so fast. So using my Stormbringer, this is actually an easy job. Just look at my damage with the Stormbringer. It's crazy. But this Hydra, look at his laser. I switched to my Loki armor set whenever I try to dodge the laser because this thing has the most movement speed. I tried luring the Hydra to the Azeos arena, but it doesn't seem to follow me there. So I continued killing it with my Stormbringer at the place I summoned it. It seems that my mining set did more damage than my Loki armor set. So every time I use my obliteration ray, I should consider switching to my miner set. Just like this. Look at that damage. Because this 5 set of the mining set converts like 10% of my mining damage to damage. And currently, I believe my mining damage is around 3,000 or maybe 4,000. So that's a lot. 10%, 400 or something. So the Hydra isn't really a hard enemy. Very easy to dodge his laser. With the amount of movement speed items I have, I did not really have a problem dodging the laser beam. So this guy attacks is basically the same as you can see in the start. He did summon a worm though, but I easily killed it with my Stormbringer without any problems at all. I swear to God, this weapon is overpowered. It can trigger it can trigger all the Titan's soul power within me. And yeah, the damage itself is just crazy. The Titan doesn't stand a chance. As you can see, it's on its last breath and time to die and give me your loot. Let's go. We have defeated one of the Hydras. Yeah. And so I have obtained the soul of Doidra, and what it does is it gives like a permanent 10% HP boost. Let's go. For the item, I got the eye I'm looking for in order to make the second summoning item. As for the ring, I wasn't really attracted to it that much. 12% critical hit damage, 6% chance to apply poison, and 15% damage against poisoned enemies. Meh. And while I still have my buffs right now, I decided to summon the next Hydra. It was Krydra. Anyways, it appeared very fast the moment I laid down the summoning item. It just, sprinted towards it. I don't know why. Maybe the sound they hated the most. But this time there were like 2 Hydras now. So I guess the other Hydra is like the spirit of the previous Hydra we have defeated. As you can see, they have similar attack patterns. Not really that hard. For the laser beam, just dodge, dodge, dodge. And then I switched to my obliteration ray and tried to obliterate Krydra. I love this obliteration ray, I swear. I haven't even used my axe. Maybe aside from like when it's down. Because I believe like the axe deals more damage as I like try to whack it to death. So having like 2 Hydras to fight, it's pretty annoying if one like starts to do a laser beam attack. But if not, then I can just freely whack this thing to death with my axe. It has a new attack though. Since it's like the Ice Titan, it would summon like a crystal behind it that would shoot multiple icicles towards me. I totally did not notice, not until like I approached down where I saw like there was a crystal there shooting like icicle beams. But I was having I guess you can say I'm pretty busy by dodging all the other attacks like the laser beams. It's not really a problem. As you can see, I can easily destroy it with my obliteration ray. And now it's down again. So basically this fight is a repeat until eventually it was down to its last breath. And yeah, make sure to destroy that crystal so it doesn't disturb us. And with that, we have defeated the second Hydra. Let's go. And I have received the Soul of Krydra. And what it does is it gives like 10% permanent defense or armor. I mean, I can deactivate it, but why should I? For the rewards, I got myself a new shield called the Hydra Bone Shield. And what it does is it gives you like 5 health every second if you're below half health. This is a pretty useful shield. It's a better shield than, I guess, the Sentry Shield. So now we're down to the last Hydra. I placed down the summoning item and waited for the Hydra to come. I was ready. My shield was ready for anything it can throw at us. And this time, there's 3 of them. They also attack using their specialty. Like the Ice Hydra, it would like spawn the icicle crystal thingy. Oh my god, 3 laser beams, really? But good thing the Loki armor had like movement speed buff, so we're pretty safe. Just like the other fight, I would just play it safe, hit it with my obliteration ray until it fell down like that, and I whack it to death with my axe. The new attack that this thing does is this thing right here where he like spews some lava floors. It's not really a threat since I have a food buff that makes me immune to burning. So even if I step on it, I wouldn't burn. But I do get slowed down because I'm not currently eating my immune to acidity and immune to slime. So just a few more left and we should be able to kill this Titan. And that should be it. And yeah, we got it. We got the Fire Hydra. Let's go. And for the Soul of the Fire Hydra, what it does is it gives like 10% attack. Pyrdra. Am I saying that right? Pyrdra. Anyways, I got a Hydra Bone Sword as well as a helmet from this guy. It looks pretty good, but yeah, I think I'm keeping my Loki armor right now. I then went home, spoke to the core, and he congratulated me for achieving the impossible. He then told me to go to the place where they set their roots to the world. So basically the desert of beginnings. And then the core suddenly gave me a scan. So now I can see what he was trying to show me. It was this thing right here, the final secret boss. But for now though, there's still that boss at the passage that we need to kill before we attempt the final boss. Currently, the passage boss was at the very bottom and he's trying to go to the left side. So I'm gonna go to the left side first and wait for him there. I'm basically not that patient enough to wait for him to wait for him at my teleporter. So I'm just gonna go to the left side and wait for him to approach me. And so I buffed myself up with all my food buff before I go to the passage left side. I then waited for the boss until it appeared before me. There were so many other mobs that tried to kill me, but anyways, I laser beamed it with my obliterator, and oh my god, when the attack speed procs, the damage is amazing. I'm slowly killing this thing, but one thing is, every time that you destroy or damages the thing that comes out after like breaking the 3 balls, it speeds up. So that's why the armor set for this place gives like movement speed, I believe, because it just makes sense. And oh my god, that is so R18. I'm joking. But anyways, I just obliterated it in the face. I tried my best, honestly, but I swear to god, I'm not kidding with you when I say that it's getting faster and faster. I usually can outrun this normally on that first try, right? The only thing that I need to worry about is like, whoa, if I get stuck, I'm basically dead. So I guess one thing to do before fighting this boss should have been like to map out the area so I don't get stuck like this and die. I didn't really have any portal nearby as I destroyed it, so I had to run so far to get my body back. And after I got my body back, I prepared myself because he was now gonna encounter me at my portal. I of course went ahead and tried to face him head on before he reaches my portal. At the very least, I have a map that can show me like where to go to next. I already explored like a chunk of this place, so I can just run back as I obliterate him with my Stormbringer. And so we encountered the monster again, and oh my god, I'm not really doing that much damage at the moment. There's so many obstacles blocking the way from this fight, I swear to god. As long as I just look what's behind me, we will eventually kill this thing. And yeah, I noticed something. This thing actually does not regenerate, maybe? Because I already like destroyed that center part last time. It did regenerate though. When the worm came out, well, it wasn't full HP last time, so it did regenerate. My damage, I swear, I wanted to proc my attack speed so bad because I really hate this fight where I have to destroy the orbs. Because my damage isn't there, and as you can see, it's really dangerous. I hate it when like I get squished to death again. Anyways, this time we're doing pretty great. As you can see, we're not really in any danger right now. And whenever its thing comes out, it breaks a lot of rocks. So we're fine with that section. Anyways, we're doing pretty great. We'll just keep up this pace and we should be fine. There's currently no danger right now aside from the random monsters that try to attack us. But yeah, the monster sped up. It's noticeable right now because it's half HP that it's enraged. It's actually speeding up. Good thing we have our fishing gear with a teleport. I have a hotkey bind to it on my mouse, so I can easily switch gears and like use the teleport. Oh my god, that was so close. Like holy, good thing I managed to like destroy the 3 parts, and now we're pretty safe right now. But we need to make sure that the way is clear when we run again, because this thing is pretty fast now. This is really dangerous. Like danger. Oh my god, the explosions hurt so much. I should also be careful with the mob. We're so close, man, but it's getting faster and faster. It's getting way dangerous. I'm now even using like my Loki set for extra movement speed. I think it's better to prioritize running right now than to actually, you know, damage. Because, oh lord, look at this. This is probably the hardest fight I've had in this game so far. Because, yeah, it can one-shot after all. Even with a shield, 70% of that 16k, I don't think I can defend against this thing. But maybe if we plan this ahead of time, like have like a very clear path of like circling this thing, maybe it'll be way easier that way. Because right now, I don't even know if I'm going to a path where there's like floorings or there's no wall blocking us. Anyways, I think this is the last part. It should die by now. No more, please. I'm tired. Just die. And with that, we have defeated the boss of the passes, or Schleim. Totally forgot its name. Or Schleim. And for the loots, I got really lucky because it's the full set. But, well, the item effect isn't really that appealing. But well, I wore it anyway as my defensive gear. And this is the armor set. It looks pretty cool. Yeah. Judging from the item set effect, I think this is for explosion build, I guess. And since it was final boss time, I decided to use almost all my resource to upgrade my miner set. So all the jewels I've collected so far. Because the miner set is like currently the best set I have because of the obliteration ray or the Stormbringer. So I believe it's just right that I upgrade this. It was finally time for the last boss. So this place, I believe is called, the scene is called Crystal Meteor. What I did first was destroyed all the crystals surrounding the giant crystal. And what I got from here are a lot of crystal meteor fragments. And by combining the 8 crystal meteor shard, I made this thing called the crystal meteor chunk. And it increases the damage by me and any nearby allies by 22%. That's pretty good. But I'm gonna stick with my Azeos feather right now, so I have a dodging ability. Anyways, I touched the giant crystal and it began to crack. And eventually, it exploded and shown me a creature. So this was... I saw this before in a coffin in the Shimmering Frontier. I wasn't really sure when. But anyways, here's the final boss. And after all the work I did for this guy, he wanted to erase me. Oh my god. Well, anyways, you'll be the one that's gonna be erased. And oh my god, I think I made a mistake. I should have used the blink item. It would be way easier to dodge this than the feather. But... well, we're doing fine. I can always just switch to the blink Fisher set if ever I wanted to blink out. Anyways, yeah, every time an enemy gets down, I just switch to my melee set. It's honestly doing a lot of damage whenever anything procs. So the boss is almost dead. Wow, I'm very strong right now. Thank God for this OP obliteration ray. Like, holy. And I heal like 7 HP per second because it has like melee damage. It also procs the passive I have. The 10% chance to heal like 3% HP. I'm basically unkillable unless this thing can one-shot me or DPS me so fast that I can't even heal up. Anyways, the core commander is almost dead. We just need to do it one more time and we should be able to kill him. I thank all this damage to all the food buffs I have. I swear to god, fishing is, I guess, the most resourceful thing you can do in this game. Because all the fish buff is amazing. Like, just combine the correct ones and you'll have like a really great combination of buffs. And there we go. We have defeat... well, not yet. There's a second phase. Wow, he looks stronger now. I wonder if he is stronger. Not really. The moment the balls like get close together, my obliteration ray actually has this chain lightning effect where it connects to whatever is close to it. So as you can see, oh my god, this weapon is just amazing. Amazing. I don't even know why they give it like unlimited durability. I can just continuously shoot something with it, and oh my god, mining set plus this thing. Crazy. And yeah, for the balls, I'll just, I guess, stay away from it whenever it's stationed like that. And there we go. I think 2 more times and it should be dead permanently. Unleash Core Commander, huh? Oh wait, it didn't even have a third chance. Well, we have defeated the final boss. Alright, so for the loots, I'm not really sure how to resummon this guy. Anyway, I got the Greaves. The stat looks pretty decent. It's an overall for melee and range. Also, this thing called the Trinity Heart. 2% HP every second. An offhand item. I'm gonna be wearing it on my melee set for sure. Not my minor set, but my melee set. 2% of 1.3k. Oh my god, this is such a good item. Holy. I'm so tanky right now, and just give it like 50 seconds and I can basically fully heal to 100% if ever I'm in danger. Then I went home and tried talking to the core again. With that, we have finished Core Keeper. Thank you guys for watching the video. Don't forget to click that like and subscribe button. Thank you. Bye now.